Yeah, I'm mainly just making this video because it's good lighting and because why not, and because talking helps to remind me that I exist. And in these times when it is literally the average to basically tell the average unknown person that they don't matter and that they don't exist, it's really good to do tools of literally anything just to remind yourself that you in fact do. Because, there's really no way for most people to survive right now. But I don't really want to focus on that. I just want to exist and be my own individual person and to actually feel centered and focused and present within it, because I feel like it's so easy, if not borderline inevitable, to get so lost in like people who already have a name for themselves and brands and people that are told that they just are naturally better than other people and that they run the world and stuff like that. And I watch their content and I just get more and more bitter because I feel like people, nobody in general, but people like me should not be festering away at terrible jobs where they're told that they're nothing more than a tool with no family, no kids, nothing to afford or to come home to, and then also being told online that people are just naturally better than them and that therefore they're trash. So I do think I need to get better at figuring out just what to talk about, because frankly most of my personality is psychosis and schizophrenia and isolation and extremely niche headspaces and communities, because that's where I lived. That's my home, is niche shit that nobody knows or cares about. I do know who I am, and I think that's where I get disoriented, because like I feel like there's this general idea that a lot of people don't know who they are, and I definitely know who I am. It's just the fact that like everything that I do isn't generally not something that people, post about on YouTube and TikTok, but it's really gotten to my mental health, especially as an adult, because frankly, if you don't like have some kind of like actual identity as an adult, you really do just start to feel like a faceless slave cog worker. And I've spent my entire life just being internalized like into my like inner life, as I call it, both in terms of my mental disorders and my imagination, my creative projects, but also just keeping literally fucking everything to myself. Like I've had a really complex, like crazy life, but you wouldn't be able to tell because I've never told anybody. I've never really had a lot of people to tell. I've spent most of my life just on various different niche corners online. And I don't necessarily regret that, but I do regret it in the sense that now being an adult where everything is about like pop stars and influencers and extremely highly, like easily consumable, easy to swallow personality influencers, I am starting to feel crazy because when all you do is like you get told that you're good for nothing but a business tool, don't have a social life, have no way of starting a family, and your hobbies are too niche for most people, it is true that it's easy to feel like you're going crazy and like you don't exist, but a lot of other devastating things that I can't even think of, because every single day it's something new what people come up with. And I think I deserve to just post on the internet my face and my personality and to enjoy my own company, frankly, because apparently that's what it's going to be and that's all it's going to be. I have a lot of really stupid projects like with my hands that I want to show off in the future. That's nothing. It's just like really eccentric, like backpacks and shit like that. But I could do a show off haul of stuff like that. But that's not even really what I want to make content about. I think I just want to show off and just exist and just talk and just be who I am. And I know who that is. It's just that there's so much to talk about that I wouldn't even know where to begin, and I certainly can't post it in a singular 10 to 40-minute video. I just think that it's not fair that there's this general consensus that unless you're molded a certain way, you basically just don't exist. Like if you spend your time like in your head, like with all your stories and thoughts and projects, or if you're extremely more niche, like in terms of the way that you carry yourself every day and what you're into and what you think about, um, you just kind of get trampled by the world. And I want to do everything that I can to remind myself that I do in fact exist. And I really don't care, like, if people tell me, like, nobody cares, everybody's life is hard, like, everybody's a nobody, everyone's struggling, like, okay, sure. Because I hear that every day of my life these days, like, oh, nobody really cares about, like, your struggles, like, everybody has struggles, everyone's traumatized, everyone's suffocated, and I know that's true, but just because that's true doesn't mean that I can't still complain about my life as a brand on the internet, because let me tell you, there are certain people that have made a brand about complaining about their life, and now they have like millions upon millions upon millions of people that care about them and their struggles. That's not necessarily the reason why I'm doing this. It would be nice, but it's not the reason. I'm really just doing it because I feel like everyone deserves to have a space where they are told that they matter. And I feel like without that, people are going to lose their heads. And I see it on all apps all the time about people who have lost their heads because they have no place to express themselves, be themselves, and just simply babble off and talk and complain and talk about how suffocating life is. Every day of my life is a living and absolute hell. I know maybe it doesn't come across when I'm just sitting down for 10 to 20 minutes, but sometimes it's hard to communicate how truly, like, absolutely fucking crazy the head is on the inside, for sure. I guess that's why it's called mental illness or insanity, because you can't really see or understand the way that person is or how it actually feels to be in their head. But I definitely do know that, like, if you don't, like, express yourself and stand up for yourself in any kind of way at all, like, you're just going to get drowned by the world and trampled, and there's really nothing that you can do about it, because even if you do stand up for yourself and you do express yourself, that's still going to happen, because this is just a crazy wide world that will never ever really take care of you or anyone else. But that's all the more reason to do whatever you can to express yourself, post anything similar to it. I personally am a believer that there doesn't even really need to even be a point in posting. I think that it's healthy just to express yourself and to make it clear that you exist, to work on your presentation skills, and just to feel like a goddamn person, because it is horrifying in this day and age that my default mindset has become like, well, of course I don't matter. And of course, nothing that I think matters and nothing that I do matters, because I don't matter, because I'm just a person in an oversaturated world. And even if that is technically true, it's not helpful to live that way. I don't sleep at night. I have psychosis-induced nightmares. The forms of cope that I have are completely mentally insane. Basically, I'm never really here because I'm always disassociated into some sort of different, extremely detailed fantasy life. And the fantasy life is, I'm not talking about like Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, it's literally just about a place where I'm loved and have a partner and am cared about, and am a mother, and I think the fact that suffering is so prevalent is more of a reason why people should express themselves, and not more of a reason why people should go within. I read a thread a couple of days ago that really blew my mind, and it was basically patronizing someone for saying that they were traumatized over the idea that they would have to work for the rest of their life because they're not special, and that they wanted to do art and they wanted to express themselves and be a person. And every single thread and comment was like, everyone feels that way. Like, you're not special. Like, you have to suck it up and get over it because this is the way it is. And everything is so backwards. Like, people should be helping each other, or at the very least empathizing with each other, not invalidating people just because suffering is the default, which unfortunately it is. But if you go against each other and don't at the very, very fucking least support each other in something as small as a Reddit thread, we're all really, really, really fucked. And you're giving the 10% more power by, feeling the narrative that, like, we're all trash and we don't deserve anything, and that the 10% are the ones that deserve everything, and that's just the way it is. So it is a beautiful snowy day. I wish I could even begin to talk about everything that's in my head, but That's not really how the internet works, but baby steps. And I will just go from here. So